Mike Lindsley with you here for an ML Sports Take. It's all brought to you by our good friends at Welch & Company Jewelers and Bowers & Company CPAs. The Bonnies lose just a brutal game at Loyola Chicago. This is a team that was 0-6 in the A10, just a terrible basketball team. Nothing close to what they were when they made the Final Four run a few years back. And really, there were a few things that really killed the Bonaventure Bonnies in this game. I mean, number one, they were just atrocious. And I know both teams were atrocious for a good bit from three, but Bonaventure making 4 of those. Banks and Luke only gave you 12 points. Barry Evans, it took him forever to get going. I started thinking about maybe it's time for Mark Schmidt to kind of insert someone else in the starting lineup, maybe like a Moses Flowers, and maybe see if Evans can come off the bench and spark. But then Evans started to play well, but not getting a lot out of Luke and Banks together. Farrell and Evans had 13 combined. Luckily, Venning had 16, kind of kept him in there at some, certain points. The Bonnies actually out-rebounded Loyola by 6, excuse me. Loyola turned the ball over going into this game more than anybody in the A10. They only had 12 turnovers. It kind of took care of the basketball. But Bonaventure just was awful offensively. I mean, they just couldn't make any shots. And, this game was a 4-point game at the half. And I almost kind of felt like, they were lucky to be in that spot, right? They were lucky. There were a couple of moments in the second half that absolutely positively drove me crazy. Every single time it seemed like Bonaventure was getting closer and closer, they would just leave a wide open guy for Loyola, and Loyola made a couple of those threes, in the second half. One thing that just absolutely boggles my mind is Bonaventure. Let's see. I'm going to go back to the 12-minute mark. Banks misses the three-pointer. Evans gets the rebound. Banks misses another three-pointer. Then Bonaventure gets the ball back. Banks makes a three-pointer to cut it to 3 at 42-39. And then just a terrible, terrible turnover by Brett Rumpel. I mean, horrible. He was dribbling up that left side and tried to dribble in and around and out of chaos, and Loyola comes back and makes, Kennedy makes that layup, and then they're back up 5. It was those little things, those kind of things, key turnover at the wrong time and all the rest. You fast forward down the line here, Bonaventure pulls again within 4 after Venning makes the layup with 9:47 to go, but then they give up a layup right away. Then Barry Evans makes a 3-point shot. You're like, okay, we're back within 3. But then they give up one to Alston, back the other way, a 3-pointer, and it's back to 6 points. And it just kept going like that the entire game. And this team was completely and utterly out of sorts on defense from start to finish. They left so many assignments unguarded and all the rest. And look, they had a lot of problems with Loyola's bench. Can you believe this? How many times in college basketball do we see a starting 5 score 20 points, but the bench scores 47 points? Loyola scored 47 points off the bench. To me, Bonaventure not being disciplined and focused on defense was number 1. Number 2, they didn't get a lot out of Luke and Banks. And number 3, the Loyola bench torched them. Every single guy who went in there looked like that they should have been starting. And Loyola, they missed a bunch of free throws, just like Bonaventure. They were awful from 3, just like Bonaventure. But from the field goal area, from the floor inside 3 points, 3-point line, they were very good. I mean, they were 23 of 45, and they made their shots. So this was a very frustrating game. Bonaventure is not good on the road. We've talked about it a million times, but this was a game you had to have. You're going in there. Loyola's terrible, and now you've dropped a game that is just inexcusable, in my opinion, with Loyola. And it drove me nuts, too, and I'll leave you guys on this. I don't even think Loyola played that great of a game. I really don't. I mean, their starters didn't clearly play well, and that caused the bench to come up with 47 points. But Loyola didn't play like this A-plus ridiculous great game. They only scored 31 in the first half, but they did outscore the Bonnies by 8 in the second. But it was a very frustrating game because it was up against a bad team and against a team that didn't play that great. And it's just very, very frustrating today if you're a Bonaventure fan or alum. Thanks for watching. It's an ML Sports Take brought to you by Bowers & Company CPAs and Stanley Law Offices. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.